good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful day, and I just want to thank everyone for finding time to join us this morning. Good morning. Uh, those ones that have been following, we are on this platform every day for the last 5 years and still counting. So I just want to say, rise and shine. Rise and shine. It's a beautiful day that the Lord has made to be glad in it. It's a beautiful day to be glad in it. Everyone who was able to wake up this morning, you are good to go, and it is just in this line. It's a beautiful day. I'm just trying to type this in the chat box. Um, It is always so good to see you, to be here. The beauty with StreamYard is if you miss to wake up in the morning, you can always join us on the recording. So this is a beautiful day, and I am here with you. My name is Dr. SunshineSylvia Bwalya Mutale-Mwansa, your mindset change process transformation expert. And I'm glad to be here and with the energy that I have. So today's topic is your mindset, your life, building the life you aspire to live. And this is your free mentorship academy. It comes every Tuesday without fail. So today I want to begin with one question. What if the life you aspire to live begins not with changing your circumstances, but with changing the way you think? What if the life you aspire to live begins not with changing your circumstances, the things that are around you, but with changing the way you think? Many of us want something better, and this is what it is. Normally, the normal life, everyone wants something better. Everyone is looking for success. We want better relationships. We want financial stability. We want successful businesses and careers. We want healthier families. We want peace. We want to become more productive. We want to fulfill our purpose around the wheel of life. And this is what I've been propagating for so long, since 2009. I've been propagating just you managing your 24 hours and you being in the center of these things that we want. But sometimes we concentrate so much on changing what is around us that we forget to examine what is happening within us. What is happening within us is paramount for us to know. So today our conversation is your mindset, your life, building the life you aspire to live. And throughout this conversation, I want you to remember that mindset change is possible, because it is. What is mindset? Last week, we started talking about mindset. Today, let us take it one step further. Your mindset is the collection of beliefs. You know, there are so many beliefs that we entangle ourselves in. There are so many beliefs around us, from our upbringing, from school, from university, from colleges, from the environment, from church, from everywhere. We collect these beliefs. So your mindset is the collection of beliefs, of attitudes, assumptions, and thought patterns through which you interpret yourself, other people, and the world around you. That is mindset. Simply put, if I can put it simply for anyone who would like to just get on it, mindset is the lens through which you see life. It is the lens in which you see life. Two people can experience exactly the same setback and respond completely differently. One says, "This is the end." The other says, "What can I learn from this? And what can I do next?" The other one is just saying, "This is the end." But the other one says, "What can I learn from this? and what can I do next? Some circumstances, they, are different, but, when you have got same circumstances, different interpretation, different responses, and very often different results. And I want you really to manage this. I want us really to manage this and say, let me hear from you. Maybe you can type in the chat box, or let me just hear from you. When something does not go according to plan, what is usually your first response? When something does not go according to your plan, what is usually your first response? Do you blame others? Do you withdraw? Do you become discouraged? Or do you ask, what next? So, I want to ask, where do our beliefs come from? And this is something very, very important for us to be able to manage. We were not born believing everything we believe in today. Our beliefs have been formed over time. They come from our families, they come from our upbringing, our culture, our education, friendship, workplaces, communities, and experiences. They also come from what people have repeatedly told us. This is why we have to be very careful on the things that you repeat to your children, especially to your family around you. Perhaps someone told you, you are not clever enough. People like us don't succeed. And especially, this is why we use the mirror when we are teaching mindset change. Because a lot of people see themselves as poor, see themselves as not having anything, see themselves as not clever enough. Our people don't like, others to succeed. Those are some of the things that really disturb our thinking. So, if someone told you you are not clever enough, people don't like us to succeed, you are too old to start again, you are too young, you don't have enough money, you don't have the right connections, you tried before and it failed. If we hear something long enough, we may begin to accept it as the truth. But here is the question. Is everything you believe about yourself actually true? And I want to have this illustration with one of the tools that we use for mindset change. And this is the jar illustration. And think about an empty jar. Into that jar, we put the big stones, then smaller stones, then sand, and finally water. Eventually, the jar becomes full. One mind can become like that jar that we're talking about. Every day, something is entering in the mind. The words, the experiences, the opinions. Like right now, we've got a lot of opinions, social media, disappointments, successes, and the mighty one, fear, encouragement, and values. So ask yourself, what am I allowing to fill my jar? And more importantly, what are my big stones? Can I identify the big stones that I have? What is it that I am continuously doing? For me, those big stones should include our values, our purpose, our principles, our priorities, and the person we aspire to become. If we do not deliberately determine what goes into our minds, other people and circumstances will do it for us. So we really, really have to be able to understand and undertake all those things that we need to actualize. Beliefs create behavior. This is where mindset change becomes practical. Think about this progression, like we talked about. The beliefs, the thoughts, the choices we make, the actions we take, habits, results, and life. That is about this progression. What you believe affects how you think. How you think influences the choices you make. Your choices influence your actions. Repeated actions become habits, and your habits contribute enormously to the results you experience. That means we cannot continuously desire different results while protecting the same thinking and repeating the same behavior. If I believe, for example, there is nothing I can do, there is nothing I can do, I am likely to do nothing. But if I ask, what can I do with what I have from where I am? I have opened my mind to possibilities. That is mindset change. Fixed mindset or growth mindset is really something that, like for me, I have been propagating for a long time. So a fixed mindset says, this is just who I am. Leave me alone. I don't want stress. This is who I am. But in fact, you're putting stress around yourself. A growth mindset asks, what can I become? A fixed mindset says, I can't do it. A growth mindset says, I can do it. Yet, what do I need to learn? A fixed mindset sees failure as an identity. A growth mindset sees failure as information. There is enormous difference between saying, I failed and I am a failure. One describes an event, the other creates an identity. Do not allow one event, one disappointment, one rejection, one closed door, or one season of your life to determine who you are. That is just one of the greatest things that you can do. Do not allow one event, one disappointment, one rejection, one closed door, or one season of your life to define who you are. You can't allow that. Learn. I encourage you or encourage all of us to learn, to adjust, to grow, and to continue, because this is all we have. Circumstances, if I can really talk about circumstances versus response, let us come to something very, very important. There are circumstances in life that we genuinely cannot control. We cannot control everything people do. We cannot control every economic condition. We cannot control every decision made around us. We cannot prevent every disappointment. But there is space between what happens and what we do next. That space is where personal responsibility begins. Your circumstances may, limit some of your options, but your mindset influences how you respond to those options. Sometimes ask yourself, what is within my control? What is within my control? And the things that are within your control, my attitude, my preparation, my discipline, my learning, my relationships, my use of time. And I'm so big at this. My use of time, my response is within my control. My next declaration or my next decision is within my control. My attitude is within my control. The way I prepare myself is within my control. My being disciplined is within my control. I can say, this is what I want, and I am disciplined, like the discipline that I have to be here every Tuesday, regardless of the circumstances, is within my control. And the way I use my time is within my control. The way I do relationships is within my control. The way I build relationships is within my control. The way I learn things is within my control. So ask yourself, what is within your control that you can control and say, this is what it is? And this is where change begins, when you can be able to identify things within your control. So, personal responsibility leads to yourself first. Lead yourself first in any circumstances where you have control. we talk a lot about leadership. We talk about political leadership. We talk about corporate leadership. We talk about community leadership. We talk about family leadership. But there is another level of leadership that comes before all of these, and this is self-leadership. Can I lead myself? Can I manage my time? Can I keep my commitments? This is self-leadership. Can I organize myself? Can I take responsibility for my decisions? Can I change behavior that is no longer serving me? That is self-leadership. Can I admit when something needs to change? That is self-leadership. So before asking who is going to change my situation, perhaps we should ask, first that what can I change at my own level? Remember, our year of action, we have said leadership is at your own level. Leadership is at your own level. If you are able to lead at your own level, then you are doing something about it. So perhaps, who is going to change my situation? Perhaps, what should first ask? If we should ask some of these things, what can I change at my own level? We should be able to manage all these things that we're talking about. Personal responsibility does not mean that circumstances do not matter. It means refusing to surrender all your power to those circumstances. And sometimes we surrender and just say, oh my God, these things is happening. And we really just disturb ourselves and just sit in our own cocoon and say, let it be. Let someone do it. But it is at the end of the day that someone we are waiting to do something is you. So the mindset change, challenge is that I want you to do something practical this week. And I want you to take a piece of paper and write down these 3 things. Number 1, what life do I aspire to live? What beliefs may be stopping me from moving towards that life? What one action can I take this week? So when we look at what life do I aspire to live, not somebody else's life, but your life. What belief may be stopping me from moving towards that life? This, be truthful with yourself. What one action can I take this week? This means not next year, not when somebody gives you money, not when something becomes perfect. This week, what is it that you can be able to do? So I want those written down, and please think about those 3 things. So it could be making a telephone call. It could be starting a savings plan, applying for something, either a job, a university place, or a loan, or just making something happen around you. Apologizing to someone, it can be that one single thing that you're supposed to do this week. Learning a new skill is something that you can do this week. And just about learning a new skill, we had our Agora meeting on Sunday. A lot of people will learn a new skill just by someone standing up and saying, can you be able to do this, giving instructions, and you follow those instructions. Some failed, some will never use it, but some, that was the beginning of self-actualization on something that they really wanted that week. Write your business plan idea, maybe one of something that you really could do this week. Getting organized, like you can decide to enroll on the Mindset Change program so you can get organized. Changing how the things that you could be able to do around your life. So, taking the first step, what could you do? Mindset change becomes transformation when thinking produces action. When your thinking produces action, that is when you can see your first step making way to yourself. And as we start to close our session for today, which is your mindset, your life. How would you want to live your normal life? As I close, I want you to remember this. You may not always choose what happens to you, but you can choose what you believe, how you respond, and what you build from where you are. From where you are, not from where other people are. The life we aspire to live is rarely built in one dramatic moment. A lot of us are used to drama, but life we aspire to live is rarely built in one dramatic moment. It is built through the small choices we make repeatedly. It is those things we make repeatedly. And this is what I like about what I learned from Paul J. Meyer, the social scientist that I believe in so much, who created the wheel of life that I use. It is saying you have to repeat the actions that you want so that you can lead at that level where you want to be, where you manage your 24 hours around the wheel of life. And you repeatedly do those activities. And that's the main thing that we actualize in the Mindset Change program. Where are the activities? What activities are you doing around family and home? What activities are you doing around mental and education? What activities are you doing around financial and career? What activities are you doing around the physical and health? What activities are you doing around your spiritual alignment, and activities around your ethical behavior? What activities are you doing around your social, which is the networks, and the cultural part, which is the values that we create around us? So that together, you are the one that is doing those activities, not somebody else. And if you manage that, that is what we are talking about, that you can make something, you can build through the small choices we make repeatedly. So this week, check your beliefs, check your thoughts, check your choices, and please check your habits and ask, are these taking me towards the life I aspire to live or away from it? A lot of circumstances we build tend to waste so much of our time, and make sure that that is what it is. Remember our pathway that I talked about in the beginning, the beliefs, our thoughts, our choices, our actions, our habits, results, and life. That is our pathway. When thinking changes, choices can change. When choices change, actions can change. When actions are repeated, the desired actions are repeated, habits change. And when habits change, our results can change. So, this is what it is that I did, prepare for us this morning. And those ones that, follow me yesterday, 24th was our wedding anniversary. I talked about it. I just spent yesterday thinking about all the possibilities that I have had, thinking about the life that I have led, thinking about the circumstances that has been in my space, and how I have chosen my pathway, the things that I believe in, the thoughts that I bring out there, the choices that I make every day, the actions that I do, and the habits that I have. For me, my habits and my belief is just there's enough for everyone. So I'm not in competition with anyone. I just do my things. I do them to the best of my ability so that I can get the results that I want. And then it is equal to the life that I lead. And all these, like I was talking about in my memory, 24th of August usually came in that space where I was always in an LCI conference. So yesterday, I really connected with my international team. I spoke to them. just the memories. It took me even to when we signed the side-by-side memorandum of understanding between Lady Seco International and Lady Seco and Roundtable International. I, did a remembrance with Simon Cousins, and I said, "Do you remember this period?" And my friends on the board, each time that it was my anniversary, I would find that maybe at breakfast they put out something special. Maybe as we go, we say, okay, let's go and just have, some coffee, some tea, some drinks around that, because everyone knew that it was our anniversary. And there was also, one of our friends who also used to have a birthday. I think it's Ashwini, who used to have a birthday in August, and we really, really did celebrate all those things together. And this is what brings me to what are your beliefs? What are your thoughts? What are the choices that you make? What are the actions, the habits, results, and the life that you lead? So for me, these are some of the things that really echo and repeatedly do them with myself. And this is how I've come to be in this space where I am. It hasn't been an easy journey. It's been a journey of perseverance, a journey of persistence, and a journey of claiming what I can do at my own level. And interacting, with the people around the world has taught me humility, has taught me self-leadership. It has taught me everything that I am today. And I just want to encourage all of you listening to me today that there's enough for everyone, and you can live the life of your dreams when you show up. Like what I have been even propagating as I was standing as a member of parliament, I was propagating exactly the way I live my life, and see if what I have experienced, and if they can repeatedly do something, about themselves, if they can start to think, differently, if they can start to take out these beliefs, I am poor, I can't do this, I can't do this. And for sure, whatever you are claiming in your mind, like for me, I believe a lot in the law of attraction. So whatever you're attracting, it will come to pass. So I also remember, even like what Mother Teresa used to say, if you want peace, be pro-peace. If you want, your business to thrive, be pro that business that you have, and make sure that you know the do's and don'ts, and follow the do's for the results that you want to achieve. Everyone is looking for success, and when we look for success, we should be able to make sure that success. You have to follow a system, like the system that we follow, that is in this book. It is actually the page that we use is just I am organized. I am the organized one. I'm on the organized page. You identify, because we've got 24 hours, you identify what are the imperative action steps for me to do today. You list them down. What are the important action steps that I need to do today? You list them down. And normally, the imperative action steps are for your plan A. Plan A meaning the job that you do or the activities that you do that puts food on your table. That is your plan A. And you really have to obey plan A for the first 8 hours. So what about the important action steps? These important action steps are the ones that you're going to nourish yourself to your plan B. And plan B is, because after your 8 hours, you still have these 8 hours. But normally, the second 8 hours, you only have 4 hours that you need to action the things that you want. Because the other 4 hours is going to the noise of the day. Noise of the day meaning whatever is distracting you is noise. And some people, they are always having these 4 hours and productive. Maybe they are on social media the whole day. They are the ones that are forwarding everything that is around. Pick the things that you need to respond to. Read and understand. Then you are able to respond to those things. But some people, they are the champions of everything, but they don't know that time is running. And then you also have to understand who will you contact for your plan A to work and for your plan B to work. You also need to say, what time align. What time are you going to do those things? Like every Tuesday, I plan after my devotion, 8 hours, 7:45, I must sit and align myself, make myself available and ready. And at the end of the day, this is the most critical part of the I'm organized page. What have you done? What have you accomplished today for you to say, I've done something, and this is what it is. So I am assuring you that once you follow a system of what is makes your life easy, you are going to be able to manage yourself. And remember, who you are or your image is what people talk about you when you are not there. That is your true image. What are you allowing people to talk about you when you are not there is really what should be able to bother you. So put up your best foot forward so that people can be able to say great things about you when you're not there. Even when you're having people are having interviews, you are not in the room. Someone in the room can make you get that job or can make you not to get that job. So let's be careful of the things that we say in the room, the people that we do, or the things that we do, and the things that other people do. And we are now, in that space where you are not going to be in each and every place to say, I meant this, I did this. So this is why we say your image, your true image, is what will talk about you when you are not there. So today, I am Dr. SunshineSylvia Bwalya, Mutale-Mwansa, your mindset change process transformation expert. Until next Tuesday, do not merely wish for the life you aspire to live. Start building it today. Thank you so much and have a great day.